Hey everyone, this is Larry from WSTrades.com doing a technical analysis update video on the indexes. So I'm going to go over SPY, which is S&P 500, QQQ, which is the NASDAQ, and DIA, which is Dow. So we'll start off with SPY since I've already got it pulled up. If you watch the other videos I have on the indexes, I've got the Fibonacci retracement tool thrown on this thing, and you're just looking for key levels. Right now we had a pullback to the golden ratio, which a lot of times you'll see a nice jump off of this level like you did right here. You see a nice little rally when it came down towards that level. But we did have a sell through it to this 78.6 level before last week. It was just kind of chopping in between these two levels, and I had pointed that out in my previous videos. And then into the week we just had a fat rally. You see this massive gap up and then another sell off to it. So I don't know where we go from here. We've got earnings, third quarter earnings coming out, so that could keep things propped up. So I just look at that level and get some confirmation. If this thing's going to close below this, then I think we're for sure coming down and going to test this 429. And unless there's some crazy news, I think it stops there. So yeah, just keep an eye on that level, the 434, and get some confirmation if it's going to make a move higher, or if it closes below that, then yeah, we're coming down to 429. Now let's check out the Qs. Same thing. But we're working off of different levels on the Qs. Oh, one thing I forgot to, I'm going to go back to SPY real quick. I forgot to mention something that I'd noticed. So right now you can see SPY, and I'll show you in a second, Qs is doing the same thing. It's coming up to about this 21 EMA, which is the light blue level right here. I know my chart's a freaking mess. The fibs really throw everything off. But you see this light blue line right here. That is the 21 EMA. And on the daily, it just can't break through it in this sell-off we've been having. But if you go to the weekly, then you can see, I'm going to zoom out. So this is a 3-year weekly chart. So each candle represents 1 week. And we haven't been below that 21 since the COVID crash, and then you had that fat rally afterwards, and it's just kind of bounced around. This candle, it finished right below it, and then the next week had a massive rally, and you can see it just comes down. It'll kind of test it, comes down. So right now we are right at that 21, so it's kind of a good sign. Again, you'll wait for confirmation because you can see it sells through it during the week, then always closes above it. So right now, like I say, I'm keeping an eye on that 21, and so on this weekly chart, if it falls through that, then look out below. I don't know, you're gonna retrace to 422 for sure. Hopefully stop on this trend line maybe, but yeah, if it sells through that 21 and closes, then we're gonna look for a fat sell-off. We go back to, we'll keep it on the weekly and check out the Qs, and I'll show you it's the same scenario. So I'll zoom out again, and as you can see, above the 21, COVID right through it, and then fat rally, comes down and tests it, comes down and tests it, comes down and tests it, all over, test it. It's never sold or closed below it. So again, we are just below it, but this is a weekly chart, so you can have this fat wick sticking out, so it might be below it right now, but hopefully it closes above it. Same scenario. If it sells through that, then look out. We'll go to the daily on them, and just like SPY, you look at that 21, can't get through it. We have a sell-off to this trend line, where I actually made good profit last week selling a put spread at the money, because I just I assumed that they were going to make a move off of this trend line, and they did. So made good money off of that trade. But again, see, this day came up, hit the 21, same thing here, sold off from it, tried to touch it today, sold off, and we're right at, what are we doing after hours? Yeah, slightly below this 358 level. Yeah, go away, James. So I don't know. This may be a fake out candle, but if not, I think we're gonna come down and test this trend line again. But yeah, hopefully this is just a nice little fake out candle, and we start seeing a move higher. And it cannot. This is another very key level, is the 363, because as you can see, it's tried to make it through on this day. You know, it went through and then sold off right below it. This day had a gap up, sold off below it. Today sold right up to it, sold off. So I would be going long if it can actually close above this 363 level. And I don't know when tech is reporting, so it's probably going to be, you know, around that time period. So for me, two very key levels for NASDAQ is this trend line that it's, you know, had very long-term support at. So, you know, whatever day it's at, you know, you can just pull it up. So if it sold off to this tomorrow, then you'd be looking at around 354. And then this other level where I'd be going long would be 363-ish. So yeah, key levels for the Qs coming up. Let's go look at DIA, which is the Dow ETF. Zoom in. And yeah, Dow's kind of all over the place, but there's key levels. And again, we're at, with all three of the main indexes, we are like at key support levels. So today finished right at this golden ratio at about 344. So yeah, this is level I'm looking at. If it sells below this or closes below this, then, you know, you can see this level, the 78.6 level on the fib, doesn't mean jack that's to Dow. They just make these big intraday moves. So I think if it closes below this level, then we're going to come all the way down to around 337, and we'll see what happens there. That's a really nice support level, not just off of the fibs, but you can see, you know, way back in July 19th, sold off to it, and then we had a nice rally. So yeah, key levels for Dow, I'm looking at this 344. If it sells through that, ends up closing somewhere in here, then I'm thinking it's going to come test 337. If not, I'd like to see a nice little rally, possibly getting close to the highs at, I don't know, I'd say around 355-ish. If we get a bounce off of here. And again, we've got earnings starting this week, so hopefully these companies have had some nice moves and they have good guidance, so we can see a rally off of this. Because man, things have been selling off for a while. I know the Qs were down like almost 10% before the little rally we had. Still not making a big enough rally for me to, you know, think everything's out of the water. But overall, I don't think we're gonna have too much of a sell-off. All the indexes are still really close to key support levels. So if we do sell off, I don't think it's going to be too bad. But, you know, if they do break below those key support levels, like if all of these companies come out and they just have crap earnings, then, you know, hide your kids, hide your wife, because we're selling everything up in here. So anyways, that's my technical analysis on the indexes. So if you could please like and subscribe, and mention it before, if you have any tickers that you'd like me or James to do some technical analysis on, just leave it in the comments, and we'll see if we can take care of you.